Welcome back to the series that focuses on the persona of each of the P3 main characters and how it relates to the mythological figure it's based on. In this next video, I'll be covering Fuuka's persona Lucia, who later transforms into Juno. Now let's dive right in. So, as we all know, Fuuka starts off with the persona Lucia. Saint Lucia, or Saint Lucy, was a young Christian martyr during the Diocletian persecution in the 2nd and 3rd centuries CE. The Roman Catholic Church even commemorates her as one of the 8 women to be included in the canon of the Mass. The details of her life that have stood the test of time tells of a young woman who dedicated her whole life to the service of Christ, so much so that she refused the marriage her mother arranged for her with a pagan man. Angered at Lucy's rejection, this man revealed Lucy's faith to the governor. What followed were increasingly horrific methods of torture being inflicted on Lucy by the guards. From attempting to force her defilement at a brothel to hitching her to a team of oxen to be dragged through the streets. They even heaped bundles of wood around her so she could be incinerated to death. But the wood wouldn't catch fire. Christian tradition states that her body was filled with holy spirits that protected her throughout these trials. Even after they gouged out her eyes and slit her throat, she was still able to see and prophesize. She met her real end only when the guards put her to the sword. So, how does Fuuka's story take inspiration from St. Lucy's? Well, though she did not face the same physical torment, Fuuka was, in a sense, persecuted by Natsuki and the other bullies. It got so bad that she was forced into the gym and locked inside, though the cruel girls eventually attempted to right this wrong once they started to worry that Fuuka might take her own life. To their disbelief, though, she was nowhere to be found despite being trapped there overnight with no way to unlock the doors. When Cease got word of this, they quickly realized that she must have been trapped in the dark hour for 10 whole hours, one for each day that she has been missing from the real world. This spelled near certain death for anyone without a persona, given the dangerous shadows prowling Tartarus. But despite these overwhelming odds, Fuuka managed to survive all by herself until Cease arrived to help. Fuuka hadn't fully awakened to Lucia yet at the time, but she was clearly protected by this spirit, aka her persona, just as St. Lucy had holy spirits protecting her. And just as Lucy had the ability to prophesize, Fuuka has the ability to sense which floors the Tartarus bosses are located on, and is able to decipher the regular shadow's strengths and weaknesses. The bandages wrapped around the persona's eyes and throat is clearly inspired by the horrific injuries the guards dealt to St. Lucia. Perhaps the reddened face and black skin is symbolic of burns or charring, since the guards did attempt to burn her alive. The glass sphere that Fuuka stands in bears similarity to the shape of an eyeball, complete with a pupil in the middle. It's within here that Fuuka is able to sense the shadows even though her actual eyes remain closed while doing so. I'd also like to point out how Lucia appears the most human in design out of all the Cease members' initial personas, what with her hair, facial features, and style of dress. This is fitting since Fuuka's initial persona was the only one to be based on a person from real-life history. The rest of Cease's first personas are based on some sort of mythological figure instead. And although Lucia never sees combat herself, her skills and stats reflect St. Lucy's background. The various scanning abilities are likely based on Lucy's gift of prophecy, with third eye literally reflected in the persona's physical design. Its high magic stat symbolizes these otherworldly prophecies and the holy spirits which protected her. This is very fitting of Fuuka's tarot archetype, the High Priestess, as well, since she's the one who imparts knowledge of the supernatural shadows to the team. More analysis of the Priestess Arcana and Fuuka can be found in the video I've linked in the cards above. As for Lucy's miraculous survival of experiences which should have proven fatal, this is reflected in the persona's high luck and endurance stats, and the fact that she has no weaknesses. A little over halfway through the game, Fuuka experiences a newfound resolve that spurs Lucia's transformation into Juno. Juno was one of the 3 original Roman gods, known as the Capitoline Triad, along with Jupiter and Minerva. Castor and Polydeuces, aka Shinji and Akihiko's personas, served as Juno's attendants, along with 14 other nymphs. Hailed as the queen of the gods, Juno presided over the aspects of women's life, namely marriage, childbirth, and motherhood. Additionally, the ancient Romans believed that each person was born with a divine spirit that would watch over them from the moment of their birth until the day they died. This guardian angel-like being was called a genius for men and a Juno for women. This concept most likely inspired Fuuka's role in The Answer, since Aigis is the new MC and is accompanied by her sister Metis. Fuuka presiding over the both of them and acting as their navigator basically makes her the guardian angel of these 2 women. Shh, don't tell me they're AI. AKA their personal Juno. The persona's new skill, Oracle, reflects this transformation from Lucia, who was based on a real-life figure, to something more supernatural like Juno, a mythological goddess. We can also draw a connection between the skill Escape Route and the concept of the Guardian Angel, which ensures that the person it's meant to safeguard can escape to safe shelter at any time. The physical design reflects the myth as well. For example, Juno, along with her Greek counterpart Hera, is often depicted riding a chariot pulled by peacocks. This imagery is clearly the inspiration for the wings of peacock feathers that extend from the persona's back. And honestly, we can see a more mythical or otherworldly aesthetic, especially regarding the upper half of the persona, just by looking at Juno's overall design. It now dons a face mask with multiple eyes, a thick headdress, and more surreal coloring. The glass sphere also has a more elaborate design, which reflects the majestic depictions of Juno. She is the queen of the Roman gods after all. The shape and location of this rounded sphere is also reminiscent of pregnant women and properly reflects the safe childbirth that the goddess Juno is venerated for. To sum it up, Fuuka just generally comes across as a sort of motherly figure in The Answer as she supports and guides Aigis. This is also seen as she serves as the peacekeeper/mediator of Cease when they're all arguing with one another. Fuuka is very patient and helps nurture Aigis' growth, ultimately wanting her to make her own decisions. And our favorite toaster learns to do just that. Alright guys, that's a wrap on Lucia and Juno. If this was enjoyable, please like it, share it, and comment to let me know your favorite thing about Fuuka. The next analysis in this series will examine Takaya and Jin's personas, so consider subscribing so you don't miss out. And until next time, take care. See ya!